Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought I would finally do an end video for the Battlefield Engineer event, because officially today I give up. I have persevered for an incredibly long time on this fourth vehicle, and after getting 2 component drops today, which weren't ones which I required, I actually was able to get a left aileron and also another copy of a landing gear operating system. I give up on this event, and the reason for this is because I don't want to use the markets in that way. I have already stated that I don't think an individual should have to be forced to use the market, and also it has negative returns. So what do I mean by this? Well, one of the things that a lot of people have said is it is important for you to use the market so you can sell the components that you get, and then you can buy the the components that you need from the market. The problem with this thinking is that only works for a single plane. If you move on to the next plane, then you have exactly the same issue, and you end up sinking more money into the market than you get out of it. So it's great for an individual plane, but you've got to remember, I wanted out of this event to be able to create 9 planes in order to get all of these vehicles. And unfortunately, I was only able to get 3, plus a ton of extra toolkits, extra first places, and some components. I'm still down 2 components. Require the high lift device and also the brake system, and at this point I'm just done. And the reason for this is because I know nothing's going to change for this event, and it's because it's Easter. If you don't know, it's Easter weekend, which means that you have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all as basically a holiday for a lot of countries, especially Christian countries, and what that means is there won't be any work until Tuesday. Now, if you don't know, Tuesday is, of course, the 23rd, when we're getting the economy changes, and a day after this event finishes. So any hope in this event either becoming fairer for the average player or becoming okay for just general grinding is gone in my head. So therefore, I'm just done with it. What I have done is I have requested the vehicles that I haven't got. So on the 23rd, I will have access to the 4 vehicles I wasn't able to grind, such as the VFW, the HMS Tiger, and also the Project 122 BIS and the JU388. Thankfully, the guys at Gaijin have already supplied me them for a test drive, so I can test them out beforehand until I get them on the 23rd through the partnership program. But I'm not going to touch the Tiger because they've given me a test drive for a Tiger that's fully done out. And I want the experience of grinding it out from stock, just like everybody else's. So yeah, it's very sad that this is the first event in War Thunder's history that I personally haven't been able to complete, basically because of the game itself. There was an event back in the day called Summertime Madness, which I wasn't able to complete because I was traveling at the time, and also I wasn't as committed to War Thunder as I am today, and therefore I see it as my fault. When it comes to this event, I have done everything in my power to be able to progress. As you see, I have 164 toolkits, 20 first places, and not enough components. And this is over a 5-day period. Technically, if you take 164 and divide it by 6, which will give you the amount of hours which I am over the time of getting these components, basically, I'm sat at 27.3 hours for this event. So this pretty much means that the idea that it only takes 15 hours to do one of these vehicles is rubbish, and I am very, very sad to report that I need to see data on this average of 15 hours, because I don't believe it. I just don't. I have met a lot of people in my position, and also the only people who progressed past the 4th one seem to have been able to use the markets in a positive way and be able to get on to their 5th and 6th, where they've run into exactly the same issues that I'm running into here. I honestly believe that this event from the start was only set up so people could get a very limited amount of vehicles, and the reason for this is because they didn't want to make it too easy for people to get 6 pretty cool event vehicles and wanted to push the market as hard as possible. As I've said many times, I would much rather the market be a secondary option where what people can use to either sell or buy items, just like it was in the i7 event, where instead of it here, where it has become a primary source for people to build planes and everything like that. And it makes me sad, to be honest. I understand why they're doing it. I get it. You know, it's much easier to make small gains off many transactions than it is large gains off minor transactions in the form of GE. But I would have much preferred it if it was like the i7 event. During the whole i7 event, there was a lot of people complaining that the grind was ridiculous. When they actually started playing, instead of talking about it, they realized it wasn't too bad. On the Discord, on the Tech Hub, the optimism, the positivity during that event was great. It was absolutely wonderful, and it was something that I saw in the first few days of this event too. Unfortunately, on the 4th and 5th day, even though the conversation stayed fun and there was a lot of laughing, the general pessimism crept in, and it wasn't because of the people, it was because of the event. And it is as simple as that. It was very sad for me to see, and hopefully the next event is not similar, because if it is, then we have an issue on our hands, because as you make more and more of these style events which are unfair to the common individual, you will get more and more negative feedback. Yes, you may make a little bit more money in the short term, but in the long term, you will put off more and more people doing these events, and eventually you will lose money. It is definitely an argument between, you know, the idea of is it better to cash in now to be able to create more content for later on, right? Or is it better to try and create a long-term system so therefore you get increments of cash and keep it going? And because at any point, especially with the way that loot boxes are right now, you can definitely make the arguments that there is going to be issues for companies such as Gaijin when it comes to loot boxes, which is, you know, a decent amount of their income, I suppose, through the marketplace. I doubt it's the primary one, but it is, you know, still there. It is part of the overall economics of the system. So I can understand this idea of short-term push for use of the market. I just wish that there was an alternative, because I sit here unable to complete this event. I've put many hours into this event, and I put many hours into all War Thunder events. As I've said, I like, as a content creator, to experience what the individual or the general public, let's say, is experiencing. And all I've experienced after the 3rd day, which is when I was put onto the plane you see before you, is absolute hell. Absolute tearing hair out. Absolute pointlessness and aggression from myself because of the fact I was just waiting and waiting and waiting for these components. And I never got them in the end. And that, in of itself, makes me, as I said, sad. I think the only way to fix an event like this is to move back to the i7 model, where you make it so you are guaranteed getting the rare components while grinding it out. This means that if people want to get ahead of the curve, they can use the market to buy rare components, to buy you know, parts and stuff, but it means that the average person can and will be able to grind it out as well, as long as they put in enough time. Because I don't believe that this event is possible even if you played 24 hours a day the whole time that this event was here. I think it has been purposely set up as a way to use the market, and purposely made so there is no way you can complete it without the market, which is exactly what I saw here. So I thought I would just, you know, basically give my critique, show you how kind of annoyed I am, to be honest. I haven't felt this annoyed in a long time, and I know it may not come through my voice, but you know, it is how it is. Maybe I'm not as annoyed. I'm defeated, and I haven't felt defeated in a long time. One thing I will say is during today, the only reason I was able to get a lot of toolkits or even play this game without being annoyed was through doing the weekly decals. So as you can see, played a bunch of naval, played the Japanese, just did ground forces aircraft, and these two I did at the same time, running this broken lineup. The Steward is a crazy good tank. It's got really good scouting, and you basically take this as a first spawn, get a cap, get as many kills as you can, then switch to the P400, hunt planes, dominate the air, and you'll come first over and over and over again, and hopefully through dominating the air you'll get your wins. So that's basically what I did for these two, and I'll get grinding the Italian one probably tomorrow. But yeah, I'm just going to sell everything. I'm done with this event. I think it's been a failure, and I think the videos that I've made over the last few days have shown that. I think I've done a pretty good job at documenting the issues that this event has, and I mean, it's done my Gaijin market balance pretty good. I've nearly got 70 Gaijin coins, and I'll probably get more from selling all this, but I don't care about that. What I wanted to do, what I wanted to be able to do, was get all of these, and because of how it was set up, I was never going to get them. And if it is that there's something else going on here, like there's going to be an event straight after this one, which is either going to, you know, give you access to these vehicles, or if there's going to be some kind of penance for what has happened here, fair enough. I mean, we'll judge it when we get there. But right now, as I said, I have an incredibly bad taste in my mouth, and to be honest, I just want to walk away for a few days and not bother with anything, and I think that's exactly what I'll do, because otherwise there may be some unsavory things said. Might as well finish this video opening up the 20 first places I got. I was basically doing this, as I said, in the Steward and the P400. Let's see. Well, it's a great start once again. Just remember, out of all of the toolboxes that I've opened up on this these videos, I've got either 1, 2, or 3 toolkits, or I was able to get one I-180S camouflage, so I'm happy about that. You know, just is how it is, right? So 4 toolkits so far. One thing, it would be nice to see if there was more of a ruckus from other content creators. I saw that Spitfire made a video today. I actually ground out a lot of stuff with Spitfire. We were playing together, we were playing some ships, and we were playing some other stuff. And he experienced exactly what I did as well, going through the events. And it would be nice to see more of a united front from other content creators. I understand that it isn't the most flashy stuff to make. I understand that, you know, it's not new or brand new vehicles or discussing really cool ideas, but I think from a general health point of a game, especially one which is based around its events and also updates, I think it's incredibly important to critique them as we go, which is why I personally am against content creators just getting things for free instead of playing the events themselves, because then, well, to be honest, you don't know what the struggle is. You don't know what the average person goes through, and I think this has been indicative of this event, since many of them have not made any videos on this. The only ones I said who have are Spit and myself. I'm sure there are a few others as well. Toshio, if you don't know Toshio Thunder, a very good friend of mine, very lovely person, has also been talking about the event, so please check out his stuff. Dog has also made a few things talking about it, but overall it seems that the general ideas have been not discussed, and solutions have not really been talked about by many people. So hopefully over the next few days that's what we see, kind of like a post-mortem of the event, because otherwise I'm pretty sure this style of event will happen again in Operation Summer. I have no faith that it won't, because I see this as a test bed of seeing how far can Gaijin go with this idea. I think with the i7 event, they're very happy with it. They wanted to see how far they could push the market idea, and this is basically what we have in this event. And it's not good at all. And we're down, remember I started off with 20 here, so 20 boxes, and then I think I did like a few others during the other, other days, and it looks like I'm getting absolutely nothing out of these, which is very sad. But yeah, I'm gonna, the content I'm gonna make over the next few days, or the next week or so, it's gonna be more focused around what I'd like to see in the game, and maybe some reviews of other vehicles, but I mean, those 20 crates just pretty much show you how I feel about this event. Toolkits, 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 and nothing else. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I apologize for this video being depressing or whatever it is, but it's exactly how I feel right now. As I said, I feel defeated. I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank B. Young, Blackie, Daniel Stanton, Dyslexic Child, Martinez, Matati, Moxie, Nito, Nick Graham, Alobralo, and Super Cacti for supporting me on Patreon.